Alright, BOZ to the ING here. Today we got fights to make after UFC 324, Gaethje versus Pimblett. A pretty good debut card. Some good moments, some shitty moments, but there's a lot of title implications for this card, whether it's title fights themselves or number one contender fights. But let's just get straight into it. First up, we got Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria, White House main event. I'm concerned for Justin's safety here. This fight should not be made, but it has to. The interim champ has to fight the champion. Ilia already said he's returning April through June. He's already been targeted to be the White House main event. I've seen that in a couple sources, and he said he's fighting the winner of Gaethje Pimblett, and it makes sense for the White House main event. Maybe if Pimblett won, I think they maybe hold off, maybe think about Spain a little bit, but Gaethje winning, that 100%. They've been looking for a headliner, but also someone American to be the headliner, I think. Or someone that has an American fan base, and that's Gaethje. He's American, he represents America, he's fun to watch. And then Ilia also, huge fan base as well, very fun star, big name, and he's undefeated. This fight needs to happen at the White House main event, and I think they got it. They said they're going to start working on it today, or Dana said that they're going to start working on the White House card today, have it finalized in the next couple weeks, so probably mid-February. I think this fight will be finalized and announced decently soon. Because I know Ilia, his legal battles, he came out 18-0, had that little smirk. His wife looked a little pissed about the whole thing. Their court date a couple weeks ago, where it was like his wife or his ex-wife wants to take their daughter to Miami from Spain. They said no, and Ilia hasn't seen his daughter in months. So yeah, Ilia says he's gonna return very soon, April through June. Not happening April or May. I think they're gonna say this for the White House. They need a main event, and this is the fight to make. Next up, International Fight Week. Featured fight. I think you could do Paddy versus Hooker after they've healed a little bit from their beatings that Paddy Pimblett just took. And I mean, Paddy Pimblett might take a bigger break because he hasn't been active actually. But I think you should make this fight International Fight Week, maybe later on down in the year. But Dan Hooker, he's probably gonna get a beat down, probably get injured by BSD. He just took one against Arman as well. But both these guys can't block a punch. Paddy has no wrestling. Hooker has no grappling, and of course they have the beef. Paddy talking or making that joke, the rape joke about Dan Hooker's mom. Dan Hooker saying in retaliation, "You're not a good friend," and mentioning Paddy's friend who committed suicide a few years ago. Paddy needs to fight down. He creeped into that number 5 spot, that he did not deserve to get up there. Dan Hooker's, like Renato Moicano says, a turtle in a tree. How the fuck did it get there? Being at number 6 in the rankings still. He's going to be on a 2-fight skid. Paddy's going to be on a 1-fight skid. But I think it makes sense. You know, they have the beef. I think rankings clearly don't matter anymore. So you have a storyline here. You have a beef. You could sell more. Not sell because you don't need to sell anything, but you just bring more eyes onto it. It's a very fun fight. It'll be a very fun build-up. A lot of shit talking. So I think it's a good fight to make, and it makes sense. It's fun. They could be getting some guys coming up in the division, but I think you want to maybe capitalize on Paddy's star power still. He could still be a big name, like one of those big contenders that never really wins the big ones. Whether it's a title or big fights like he just did against Gaethje, who was number 4, and they were competing for the 5th best lightweight in the division. But yeah, so I think it's a fight to make. Next up for the co-main, I think Sean O'Malley is going to get a title shot versus Petr Yan after he beats Merab. I think Petr Yan beats Merab in the trilogy. August-September pay-per-view. It should be Sean O'Malley versus like a Umar or something, but that would be a number one contender fight. Perfect, but we'll get to Umar later on. Or maybe Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen at the White House, 2 Americans, a fight that people have been wanting to see for a while. But I don't think Sean O'Malley's going to take that. He hasn't been as active the past few years since he's been up in the title picture, whether it's 2022 to now. Hasn't been fighting that much. He hasn't been fighting 3 times a year, probably twice. I think he hurt his foot as well. I saw him in a boot after the fight. But yeah, I think if Merab wins, obviously not. But if Petr Yan wins, they're going to do this, the rematch. The first fight was super close. Still talked about today as, oh, Sean O'Malley didn't win. Petr Yan got robbed. Whatever. And I think Petr Yan's been talking about it a little bit. I might have seen something. But I think they're going to do this. Sean O'Malley's a big name. They still want him in the title picture. They still want him as champ to bring that American fan base. They have no American champ. Sean O'Malley could be one of those. So I think, and even Joe Rogan was saying after the fight in the post-fight interview, yeah, I think you deserve a title shot with that one. You did good enough. Even though he didn't, but I just think with the Paramount era too, we just saw Paddy, Gaethje, Diego Lopez getting a shot. They're going to give Sean O'Malley a title shot. He's not going to fight one more. I doubt it. I really doubt it that he's going to fight one more before fighting Petr Yan, who's going to probably fight in April or May versus Merab in the trilogy. I think beats him. He's going to get O'Malley next. Next up, for the loser of the co-main, Song Yadong, I think he fights the winner of Bautista Oliveira. Winner of that, of course, needs to fight up. Yadong needs to defend his ranking. May or June pay-per-view, like an opener or second fight of a pay-per-view main card, or a fight night co-main. Maybe if they go to like the Middle East, this one could be there as a co-main, maybe a 5-round co-main. But I think this is a fun fight to make. It makes sense because that range between these guys, like I think Song Yadong's number 5, 6, 7, and 8 is Figgy, Zahabi, Cheeto. 9 is Bautista, and then 10, 11 is like Martinez, Talbot, and I think 12 is Vinicius. But yeah, I think this is a fight to make. It's not really much else to say to it, but it could boost one of these guys up in the division more if they beat a Song Yadong, especially Vinicius Oliveira, because he has some ability to be a bit of a star, a bit of a name, because his fight style. He's very fun to watch. Next up in the featured fight, the winner, Waldo Gordoz Acosta, should take on Alexander Volkov, April or May pay-per-view. Waldo wants a fight in Mexico on the 28th of, or is it February? I think Mexico's in February. He wants a fight in February, Waldo already said, but I don't think that's going to happen. He wants to fight Curtis Blades. They could do that fight. It would be a fun fight. I think Waldo could definitely win that. They have a little bit of history with the shit talking and a little bit of beef going on, but I think this is a number one contender fight to make because the next fight at heavyweight is going to be Alex versus C. Organ or Tom Aspinall versus C. Organ 2. So however that goes, you need a number one contender fight for that, and I think this makes sense. Put it on a pay-per-view. You can do a feature fight again or main card opener. Next up, summer pay-per-view for Derek Lewis versus Shamil Gaziev. If Derek Lewis wants to fight twice in a year, which he really hasn't, but he fought in July, fought again in January, so maybe like a later summer, like a July or August pay-per-view. Put Gaziev on there after he just got knocked out. Derek Lewis just got knocked out, but kind of bullshit. He just slipped and gave up, basically. Thought Waldo was going to just give him a break in the middle of the fight. But, yeah, I think, this fight makes sense. It's fun. Two big names, especially Shamil. There's not really much you could do in the heavyweight division. You could give Derek another prospect on the come-up. But, I don't know. I think you can make this fight. It could be a fun fight. Two decent names in the heavyweight division. Could have some hype behind it, but they're fucking blobs, dude. So it's tough to matchmake the heavyweight division. It's like nothing really intriguing there. Now I think Natalia Silva should take on Valentina Shevchenko. I know Valentina Shevchenko, I think, has some injuries from her fight with Zhang Weili somehow after laying down on her the whole fight. She did outstrike her, but, Natalia Silva earned her title shot after beating Rose, stepped up on short notice as well. She could have already been next for it. But yeah, she's getting in. I think she's laid on for the whole fight. We saw her takedown defense wasn't great. And Valentina Shevchenko on the feet too. She could beat Natalia Silva on the feet. And I think she'll get it to the ground. She's just too dominant. It's too good. I think she needs to move up, fight the winner of Nunes Harrison when that happens. But she's too dominant, dude. She's going to beat everyone in this division. And I think Natalia Silva's next. I didn't really matchmake Rose Namajunas. I don't really care. So on to the opening fight. Gene Silva should take on Yair Rodriguez if Yair does not duck. I think Gene Silva beats the shit out of him. Spring-summer pay-per-view. You could do this in like May, I think. Or, May, June, July, sometime around there. If Yair Rodriguez wants to fight instead of flying and going to aviation school. I know he's injured, but this guy's fucking injured every second of the week. Every time he's ready, there's a fight, he needs a fight. How the fuck is this guy number 3 in the division? First of all, Gene Silva deserves a shot. He just beat number 6. Needs to get up in the rankings. I think this is a number 1 contender fight. You could do that. Have these guys fight for the title late in the year. Because you could do the winner of Lopez versus Volk. Have them fight the winner of Movzar versus Lerone, which I think will happen in March. I think it's going to get announced tomorrow. I would say it will happen tomorrow. The announcement for London. That London card, I need an announcement. We're less than 2 months out. There's not that many fights announced for it. I think we're going to get a few for it tomorrow, especially the main event. And so I think Gene Silva deserves a fight shot up. If Yair does not duck, I think he ducks everyone else because they're all grapplers like a Zalal or an Aljo. He's not going to fight Movzar or Lerone. They're fighting each other. And Steve Garcia, you could give him Steve Garcia as well. I'm saying Yair, but I think Gene Silva will get that shot up in the rankings. This is a fun fight. They want Yair up there. They want Gene Silva up there. So I think kind of get Yair out of the title picture. Not let him talk. I think Gene Silva beats the shit out of him after the first round. Because Gene Silva takes the first round off usually. But yeah, I think if Gene Silva wins this, he's getting a title shot. I don't think he'll get a title shot next, unless they want to skip Movsar and Lerone again. Even because if Diego wins, they might do that. But if Volk wins, we'll see. So I think it's a good fight to make. You can make it relatively quick as well. I think Arnold Allen should get in the summer, unless he's injured and broke his hands again. Kevin Vallejos, I think Kevin Vallejos is fighting in March, early March or mid-March versus Josh Emmett. I think it's going to be Ilia Topuria 2.0. Not a 50-42, but maybe a 50-44, 50-45. I think Kevin Vallejos is going to just beat his ass. He's too good of a boxer. He's not going to be able to just... He's able to get away with those overhands. And if Josh Emmett wrestles him, he'll be fine. Emmett really doesn't do anything with the wrestling. He'll take you down, throw you, whatever, slam you, but he's not going to, like, hold you down and beat you up. He's not going to do that. I think Arnold Allen, he's number 6, needs to fight down. Kevin Vallejos, they're going to propel him up there, especially for Gene Silva rematch. That'd be very intriguing. So I think Arnold Allen could get this fight. He could win this fight very easily as well. Arnold Allen, we saw what he did to Gene Silva in the first round, even though Gene Silva does take off. But the rest of the fight was also very close. And Kevin Vallejos, this could be a fun fight as well. They want to propel him up there. He has some star power. Not star power, but he's a good young prospect as well. Now onto the prelims. I think Umar will be fighting Ayman Zahabi next. Umar should be fighting Sean O'Malley for a number one contender fight. But I think they don't like Umar, clearly, putting him on the prelims, giving these, like... Because his last two performances, Mario Batista and Figgy, they're good performances, but they're not fun. They're not, like, super dominant. And he's not getting finishes. He's going to need to get a title shot off a volume of wins. So he's going to probably need 2 more wins till a title shot. I think he could win this after Ramadan Fight Night. Headliner, maybe a headliner. Possibly a co-main on a fight night. Or, again, a headline prelim. Opening fight to a main card, second fight on a main card of a pay-per-view. But I think if they go to Canada early in the year, they could do a fight night headliner. Or maybe the Middle East. They could be a fight night headliner after Ramadan. So sometime in May or June. I think Umar's going to need to beat Ayman Zahabi and then get Merab too. Because I think Merab's going to lose to Piotr Yan in the rematch. Like I said, Umar's going to get Merab the rematch. That's a fight that could sell not, but have eyes on it with Umar in it. Because Umar's not really he's a big name, but he's not intriguing. He's not fun. He's not an Islam. He's not a Khabib. He's not. So I think he just have to win based on volume. And he might finish. He could finish Zahabi, but Umar's kind of content with just kind of winning. You know, not winning in a crazy fashion, but just winning. Kind of sticking to the game plan, win on a few strikes, and just not really dominate you. You know, so that's what it is. Figgy should fight David Martinez after he beats Chito Vera. I think David Martinez has good output. He's gonna beat Chito, and put this on a fight night. Maybe if they go to, like, the fucking Mexico again or something, Noche, in August or September. I know September's fall. August might be fall as well. I think it's summer still. But Figgy's going to need to fight down. Martinez, you have to boost him up. Martinez, I think, is pretty good. I think he'll beat Chito. I can get Figgy after this. Figgy looks like shit. He should retire, but just bringing those paychecks, kind of just stinking up fights, not doing enough. And I think, yeah, you could do this. David Martinez up there. Get him up there after he beats Chito. I think they're fighting in February. Next up, Atiba Gautier should fight Jung Young Park. Good test for him. Jung Young Park might pick up the pace a little bit, mix in some grappling. He did give Ikram some problems. I didn't watch that fight, but that's what I was hearing. It was a pretty tough fight for Ikram. Tested him a little bit. Gautier, keep him outside the rankings, I think, right outside. Jung Young Park's always a good test for these prospects, and it could test more of Gautier's game if he could cut off the cage and a big knockout blow, or test his grappling a little bit, test his wrestling. So, because he needs a little more time before the rankings, I think. We saw that he didn't really have much outside of a 1-2 or a big right hand. Didn't really work the body well, cut off the cage. Need to be a little more urgent. We could test his cardio a little bit more. Like I said, his grappling, his wrestling. So I think this is a good fight for him to just get another test and get more experience in the UFC. He's still very young, 23. He was not fraud checked. Pulyaev's very good at staying on the outside, not getting finished, and he's very durable, has good recovery. So I think it's a good fight for him. Next up, Nikita Krylov should take on Alexander Rakic. Krylov, it wasn't a fun performance. He did get a knockout, but it's Medvedev Bukauskas. He's outside of the rankings. It wasn't like on a crazy, big, nasty streak against good guys outside the rankings. Rakic needs to fight down. I think this is 13 versus 11. I would have done Krylov versus Jamal Hill, but Jamal Hill's not fighting again to the end of the year with his knee. his knee pain, or not knee pain, but knee injury. So I think this is a fight to make. I don't think they fought yet. Unless I misread something, I made sure they didn't fight yet. And loser fucking retires or something, or I don't know. But could be a little fun fight. Put on like a prelim on a pay-per-view, and it'll be a knockout probably. It might not, depending on how they fight. But it could be a knockout. Rakic's on a big losing streak. Krylov just came off like a losing streak as well. So it makes sense in my opinion. And I would have gave Krylov someone higher up, but like I said, he doesn't deserve like a Uzdemir. Uzdemir I think should fight up. Jamal Hill's gonna be out for a while, so I think it's a good fight. Next up, summer fight night: Alex Perez versus a loser of Horiguchi versus Albazi. Alex Perez just beat Charles Johnson, number 13. He's 2-5 in his last 7, I think. Alex Perez, but loser of Horiguchi versus Albazi, probably Albazi, and I think they should fight. Alex Perez just knocked out Charles Johnson, who was on a good streak himself, outside of the Ramazan Temirov fight, who did get caught for juicing. Alex Perez could fight up. That little intermediate range, I don't think so, but Albazi probably get his ass beat, and Alex Perez could get him next. And then Charles Johnson gets another prospect. I think Andre Lima, summer pay-per-view, prelim. Because Andre Lima's fighting some Chinese dude in April, Miami. Charles Johnson needs some time off, I think, for the knockout. And, test him against a prospect. See how this prospect does. He's been the prospect slayer, loses to established guys. Andre Lima, I think, will win that fight. He's very good, so we could test this as well in his fight. And then Josh Hockett. I don't really see anyone outside the rankings for him. Could give him Walter Walker. That'd be a very fun fight. But I think you build them up a little bit more. Thinking UFC London. Unless they want to keep Hockett in the American audience, which I think they might. They might do that. You could do another pay-per-view with this. But I think Mick Parkin in London, March 21st. Hockett took no damage. Mick Parkin hasn't fought in a while. I don't remember the last time he fought was. Was it over the summer? But yeah, the UFC London, Mick Parkin versus Josh Hockett. Just propel Josh Hockett up some more. He's legit. I think he could win this fight. I think he will win this fight. But Josh Hockett's legit. He could give a problem to a lot of contenders in the heavyweight division. And then lastly, I think Ty Miller should take on Trey Waters, another big lanky striker. Just lost to Sam Patterson. But, it could be a good little test for him. Ty Miller looked really good against Adam Fugit. The only people who get Adam Fugit out of there early or knock him out or just dominate him, they do good things in the division. So I think Trey Waters is a good little step up in the competition, good little test for Ty Miller. And you could make this in the spring fight night. Ty Miller took no damage except for that spinning elbow. So yeah, those are my fights to make for UFC 324. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.